Tika. So this is just a quick little video to talk about what happens if you lose all the weight you want to lose before the minimum 3 weeks is up of being on phase 2, the 500 calorie diet. What do you do? I don't know that this happens too much, but if it does, what are you supposed to do? So I'll just tell you what Dr. Simeon's original instructions were for when that happened. Basically, he always felt like you were supposed to do the diet for a full 23 injections. So basically 3 weeks, right? 21 shots of that would be while you're on the 500 calorie diet, because 2 of those 23 shots would be during the loading phase, right? So you've got three weeks full of taking shots and being on the 500 calorie diet. But, say you lost all the weight you wanted to lose in just 2 weeks. What do you do? So he recommends staying on the shots, but increasing your calories a little bit. Basically, you would increase your calories from 800 to 1,000 calories. And by doing that, at that point, you would simply maintain your weight instead of losing any additional weight until you got to your 23rd injection. And then after that, you would get off of hCG the normal way for the most part. I have a whole video on how to get off of hCG. Because hCG actually stays in your stays in your body for about 72 hours after you stop taking it. There's actually a little transition period before you start phase 3, where you have to actually stop hCG but continue the 500 calorie diet for 72 hours. And then you start phase 3. So I have a whole video on that, so I'll post a link to that in the article that goes with this. But what I wanted to mention though, in your case, if you've already lost all the weight you wanted to lose, and you're spending the last week of phase 2 eating 800 to 1,000 calories in order to just maintain, obviously during that 72-hour period where you're getting off hCG, you wouldn't go back down to 500 calories, right? So you'll keep that 800 to 1,000 calorie range during the 72-hour period as well. Okay, so does that make sense? So if you finish losing all the weight you want to lose and you're still on P2, increase your calories to between 800 and 1,000 per day, maybe base it on hunger a little bit and also on the scale so that you're not losing any more weight. And then when you get to the transition period where you're getting off hCG, you'll maintain that 800 to 1,000 calorie intake until you start phase 3. Okay, so that was the original instructions. Now the question comes up, can I just do a 2-week round of hCG? To be honest, when I really think about it, the idea of being on hCG and eating 800 calories a day without the purpose of losing weight, that sounds horrific. That just sounds totally horrible. Now, we have to remember the whole point behind it though. Before I move on, let me just talk about that. The whole point was that he felt that 3 weeks was needed, a minimum of 3 weeks, in order to reset your hypothalamus, to reset your metabolism. And I do feel that hCG does play a role in changing how your body functions in that way long term, because a lot of people do report that they're able to eat higher calorie in general after the diet than before, and still maintain. So there is that aspect to it. That, is it true that it takes 3 weeks for your metabolism to reset with hCG? Maybe it is, and if that's true, to be on the safe side, you might want to do it this way, However, if you're up for experimenting, or, you're just having a really hard time sticking to the diet when you're not trying to lose any more weight, because yeah, that sounds very difficult. Some people have experimented with doing a 2-week round. Now, to be honest, I have had very little feedback about, I don't think too many have actually really attempted this, or if they have, they haven't contacted me to let me know. But I did actually have one woman contact me who said she's done a few rounds that are just 2 weeks long, where she only needs to lose 5 or 6 pounds. And she stated that she is able to maintain the weight that she lost when she does it that way, just doing a short 2-week round, losing 5 or 6 pounds, and that she is able to maintain the weight loss. So it's just some food for thought, and if some of you out there want to experiment with that, with full knowledge, that's something you can try. And I'd love to hear your feedback, if it didn't work or if it did work. I'd really love to hear from you about that. You can email me at hcgchica@hcgchica.com. I'm always just gathering data and just trying to get feedback from real people to see what works and what doesn't, so I can pass it on to others. If you do choose to experiment with doing a round of hCG that's less than 3 weeks, there's basically 3 things that you want to pay attention to, that like if you contact me later that I'm interested in knowing about. These are the 3 things. So if you do a round less than 3 weeks, pay attention to how does stabilization go, how does phase 3 go in general for you, and are you maintaining the weight you lost with that shorter than usual round. So those are kind of the 3 things that I'm really curious to know about. For instance, with stabilizing in phase 3, does the weight fluctuate a lot more for a longer period of time when you do a short round, or not? So anyway, just questions like that. So anyway, those are the 2 options that you have. Stick it out and raise your calories up a little bit, or get off early, but might not be as sure of maintaining the results. Okay, I hope you guys found that helpful. Take care. Bye.